My mom threw a gala for my stepsister and announced she was her only daughter. I smiled and asked her. A loud question that made everyone gaspy. The chandelier above us trembled when the applause hit its peak. Crystal glasses chimed, silk dresses whispered. Cameras flashed like small explosions. My mother stood at the center of it all, radiant, rehearsed, perfect. One manicured hand resting on my stepsister's back like a brand. "And to my only daughter," she said, smiling wide enough to hurt. "The light of my life." The word only slid into the room and lodged itself in my chest. I felt it before I understood it. A cold, surgical stillness spread through my arms, my jaw, my smile. I didn't blink. I didn't flinch. I lifted my glass with everyone else and let the champagne burn my tongue. My stepsister leaned into her, glowing. The audience ate it up. Donors, friends, family, people who had known me since I was small, standing 10 feet away, pretending I was furniture. My mother's eyes finally found mine. For half a second, something flickered there. Not guilt, calculation. That's when I knew. I stepped forward before the applause died. My heels clicked once, loud, final. I smiled wider than she did, and I asked, clearly, calmly, into the microphone still warm from her lips, "Which father should I thank for teaching you how to lie like that?" The room inhaled as one. The betrayal hadn't started that night. That night was just the unveiling. It began weeks earlier with a seating chart emailed to me by mistake. My name placed at the outer ring. No family table, no roll, no acknowledgement. Just a polite invitation, like I was a colleague who overstayed their welcome. I told myself it was logistics. Then came the dress fitting I wasn't invited to. The charity photos that cropped me out. The way my mother started introducing me by my first name only. No titles, no context. And then the sentence that broke the skin. "She needs this," my mother whispered on the phone, not knowing I was home. "She's my real priority now." Real, the word echoed. I stood in the hallway, barefoot on cold marble, listening to her choose someone else with the ease of long practice. Still, I didn't confront her. I watched. I noticed how my stepsister's laugh mirrored my mother's, too, perfectly. How old photos disappeared from albums. How my birth certificate was suddenly misplaced. And how my father, quiet, distant, always careful, stopped meeting my eyes. That's when suspicion hardened into shape. People don't erase history unless it threatens them. I became patient. I smiled at dinners, complimented my stepsister, played the role they wrote for me. At night I worked. I requested records, hospital logs, old insurance files. I found inconsistencies, dates that didn't line up, payments made under different names. I ordered the tests myself. 2 envelopes arrived on the same morning. I didn't open them right away. I made coffee, fed the cat, answered emails, practiced breathing like nothing in the world was about to collapse. When I finally sat down, I opened mine first. Not a match. No shared DNA. My father, not my father. I felt nothing. That scared me more than tears would have. The second envelope confirmed it. My stepsister was biologically hers, and biologically his, the man my mother had called a family friend for decades. The gala wasn't a celebration. It was a coronation. I didn't confront anyone. I let her plan, let her rehearse, let her build the lie tall enough to cast a shadow. I watched her practice that speech in the mirror, smiling like a knife. The night of the gala, I wore black, not mourning, armor. When she said the words, "my only daughter," it landed exactly where I knew it would. And when I asked my question, the silence that followed was sacred. My mother's face drained in real time. The room turned toward her, hungry. "What do you mean?" Someone laughed nervously. I kept smiling. "Oh," I said gently, "I just assumed we were honoring honesty tonight." I pulled the folder from my clutch. Thick, tabbed, clean. "Because if we're rewriting family history," I added, "I'd love to know which man raised me under false pretenses, while you played house with another." My father stood. My stepsister froze. My mother reached for the microphone. I stepped back. "Power isn't loud. Truth does the screaming for you." She cried later. Begged, actually. In a quiet room away from the guests, mascara bleeding like ink. She said she did what she had to, that she loved us both, that I wouldn't understand. I handed her the copies. I told her I understood perfectly. I wasn't her secret. I was her sacrifice. I walked out before she could touch me, before she could explain. Explanations are just lies that want forgiveness. Now, months later, the house is quieter. Her friends stopped calling. The donors vanished. My stepsister moved away. My father filed papers with shaking hands. And me? I kept my name. I kept my spine. Sometimes I think about that moment, the gasp, the pause, the way the room tilted in my favor. Not with pride, with clarity. She wanted to erase me. Instead, she taught me exactly who I was. And I've never belonged to her since.